Welcome to USA Global TV and Radio, where our mission is to provide education, entertainment, hope, and inspiration. USA Global TV and Radio connects you with experts and audiences all around the world every single day to help you succeed in business and to live a richer life. Visit us at usaglobaltv.com to learn about career and life-changing training and mentoring programs like the Listening Mentor. Subscribe to our newsletter to stay informed about our special programs and offers. Discover how you can become a guest on one of our shows or a host or producer of a USA Global TV and Radio show of your very own. That's USA Global TV and Radio, where the doctor is always in.
Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, and welcome back to USA Global TV and Radio, where it's my absolute delight to be hosting today's show, Authentic Achievements, which was set up about 3 years ago now with the sole purpose of sharing people's journeys and their lived experience in the hope that we can inspire other people to take that leap of faith, to believe in themselves, and to go out and achieve whatever is within them to achieve. And it's my delight today to be joined by some of the pageant queens. So I'm going to introduce you to Michelle Johnson and Shannon Jones, who are both Miss Regal World from around the world. So we have Michelle, who's joining us from America, and Shannon, who's joining us from the UK. So without further ado, I will bring the ladies out and start to get to know them with you. Hello and welcome, ladies. It's a delight to have you here with us.
Hi, thank you for having us.
Thank you.
It's a pleasure. So what I'd love to be able to do is let the audience know a little bit more about each of you individually first, and then we can come back as a group and continue the chat. So Michelle, if I could start with you first, could you tell us a little bit more about you, where in the US that you're joining us for? It's Virginia, I believe. And how you got involved with Miss Regal World, and then Shannon will come to you afterwards. Does that sound okay? Perfect. Michelle, take it away.
Well, thank you. Again, my name is Michelle Johnson. I am in the United States along the East Coast in Virginia. That's correct. And I've been in Virginia my entire life, went to university here. I had an 11-and-a-half-year career with the Federal Bureau of Investigation, which, taught me a lot and was fantastic. I then pivoted into private industry and did some writing and some other different things. And I have a focus now on really doing some of the creative things that I'm very passionate about, to include pageantry and comedy and writing in different ways. So that's a central point of what I'm focused on right now. And I got into pageantry, actually. I started out as a judge. And it was when I judged my first pageant with adult contestants. I was so inspired, and I said, I want to do that. And I did. And I ended up winning my first local title, and then went to nationals and won the national title. And the rest is history. I actually didn't do my first pageant until I was 32.
Wow.
So it's never too late.
Wow. I love that. It's amazing, because sometimes we tell ourselves that our time has passed, or we can't do this now. So I can't wait to get really stuck into the conversation. But before we do, Shannon, could you share with us your journey, please? I know you're joining us from Yorkshire, aren't you?
Yeah, I am. Yeah. So I'm Shannon. I'm from Yorkshire, and I'm the current Miss Regal World title holder. My journey in pageant started when I entered when I was 18, and I was very shy. Clung to my mum a lot, and then I came across a pageant called Miss Teen Great Britain, which is for teenagers to enjoy their teenage years. So my mum had read the testimonies, and she thought it was amazing for me to be a part of that. So I entered that one, and then from there I was entering them. And then I think it was COVID times when I heard about Miss Regal World, so I thought I'd just enter it. To have something to do, because I was a little bit bored in lockdown. So I actually entered it with my little sister, and we did it together. And then I've been a part of Miss Regal World since. I absolutely love the sisterhood that Victoria's created, and I'm now a queen myself.
I love that. So I'll be honest, I hadn't really, I mean, I heard of pageantry, but I didn't realize that it was such a big thing. I didn't realize it was a global thing,
Yep.
or that it had so many categories. You know, I in my head, I have to be honest, I thought, when I thought of pageantry, I thought of little girls mainly in America, and always being super cute and like able to kind of share their talents. So it was amazing for me when I knew you were kind of coming on the show to do a bit more research and realize it's actually much bigger than that. And I love, Shannon, and you shared, it's kind of like it's the sisterhood it's creating, it's the community, the environment, and that it's creating, and the positive impact that that's having on helping people to believe in themselves, but also have a place to belong. Would that be fair?
Yes.
Yeah.
Absolutely. You know, part of my platform with, Ms. Regal World, is to promote the pageant itself, pageantry in general, as a positive force to serve and to inspire. So for me to have this title right now, that's exactly what I'm looking to do. You know, I want to talk to as many people I can about pageantry in general, but of course, Miss Regal World, as an only child, it was really with pageantry that I found sisterhood for the first time, and it's been huge. I literally have friends all over the world now, and for an only child to say that, who, you know, hasn't traveled very much, I think that's pretty amazing.
That is amazing. And I loved also, Shannon, you shared that for you, it's kind of really helped you to gain that confidence and you know, move away a little bit from your mum, not in a bad way, but forge that a bit more independence. Is that fair?
Yeah, that's fair. Yeah, I used to like make my mum do everything for me. I wouldn't like to answer the door or talk to anyone. And it wasn't until I found pageants for the first time that it actually helped me come out of my confidence. And now I'm a lot better at talking to people. I mean, I don't like my voice still, and I do cringe when I watch myself back, but it has helped with my confidence a lot.
I love that, and your voice is lovely.
I don't like
We
it.
do like our own voice, do we? And
No.
I like cringe every time I of doing this, and you think you'd get used to it. It's like I still, when it comes on, oh no, can't possibly listen to that. So I think we have those elements where we constantly doubt ourselves, don't we? Or we find the bit that we don't think is perfect, and then we hone in on that. And so having something like the pageant and the community that it creates, I guess gives us that it gives us that positive group of people that are going to help us see the things that we do well, when all we notice is the things that we'd like to do differently. And I think one of the things that I share a lot with clients is the importance of having a Thrive Hive. So those people that you can get in touch with and you can connect with, who are going to lift you up on the days where maybe you can't lift yourself up, or are going to give you perspective. And when you've got yourself in a bit of a rabbit warren of just looking at the things that aren't going well, and go, hold on, no, there's actually, there's a wider picture for this. Is that something that you get from that community? Is there how does that work?
You know, again, so it's been since about 2014, so about 10 years that I've been involved in pageantry now. And I've carried so many friends with me from the various systems that I've been in and competitions, whether I was a contestant or a judge. And, when I actually stop and kind of take note, that circle of pageant moms, pageant friends and fellow contestants and directors is a huge part of my personal network now. It's just really interesting how much pageantry in and of itself broadened every aspect of my life and actually catapulted me into doing other creative things. And, I do some things in theater now that I would have never thought I would have done before, because pageantry was such a pathway just to getting into my creative self and seeing the creativity that others bring to the table. To me, it's one of the most amazing fields that exist. I absolutely love pageantry.
I love that. And so, Shannon, you said that you did one with your sister. How did that go? That must have been a lovely bonding experience.
Yeah, it was Miss Regal World, and my sister's never done like pageants before, But obviously it was the middle of lockdown, and we thought, like, why not? Let's do it together. And it was so nice, like sitting on the Zoom calls together, doing like little, what are called, reels together, creating TikToks together. It was just a really nice like bonding experience, and I feel like a lot of pageant girls do it with like their family members and stuff.
Yeah, well, it sounds like from both of your journeys, there's so many other people that are involved. So it's not just the contestants taking part, the people that win. It's all of the family that sits around them, and then it's all of the people that sit around the pageant. And it kind of reminds me of almost like how small the world becomes when we realise how connected everybody is. And I think we used to call it the 6 degrees of Kevin Bacon. Yeah, you could get to Kevin Bacon within 6 steps from anybody else. Well, I honestly don't know why it was Kevin Bacon.
I like Kevin Bacon though.
Me too, but you could literally get from any movie star to Kevin Bacon in 6 steps. But it would, I guess it's the 6 degrees of separation in reality. But you kind of, listening to you ladies talk about kind of the pageant world, you can already see how quickly you can see those connections grow, and that global community that allows you to have friends all over the world without necessarily having had to travel very far. And I think it sounds like the balance of that kind of the pageantry piece, but also the beauty since lockdown of things like this, being able to jump on a video conference call and kind of meet people that you would never have met before, because you would have assumed that the only way you could meet people was to actually go and meet the people. And yet you can have really great friendships and great relationships with people that you've only ever met virtually these days. It really has been a global connector, hasn't it?
Mm-hmm. It certainly has. I actually competed in Miss Regal World. I always forget if it was 2021 or 2022, but again, a few years ago, and in sort of the heart of, I guess, slowly starting to come out of lockdown, but we were still very much shut down. And I came in top 3 when I first competed, and it was so refreshing to be able to compete in a pageant, a quality pageant, on an international level, and to not have to travel to do that. So that's one of the things that I really love about Ms. Regal World, is that it offers the ability to compete on an international level, meet people across the globe. It did that for me during the pandemic. And I had such a great experience that I came back and competed recently. So I really love Ms. Regal World for that. It's a great system. And I also love that it sort of flips the stigma surrounding online pageants on its head, because it's quality judging, it's sisterhood, just like Shannon was talking about. It's quality competition areas, and it's just overall a great experience. So I love it for so many reasons, and especially for what it offered during the pandemic and continues to offer us now.
Amazing. So could you tell us more about Regal World in general? Kind of like, how do people get involved? How do you find out about how to enter and how to take part?
So you can certainly reach out to either of us directly. We would be happy to point you in the right direction. I'm sure Shannon will say the same. We also, MsRegalWorld.com is our website. You can go there. In the US, I am in just about every pageant Facebook group for every state. So you can find me in there, and I post in there regularly to promote our system. But yeah, we reach out to us, go to our website. Signing up is very easy, and you can come to us directly. We'll certainly point you in the right direction.
Amazing. And so what would, I think Dr. Jackson's going to share this with us. So how would you, if you were people listening and watching us right now, why should they think about taking part in a pageant? What will it, I mean, obviously you've both shared what it's done for you, but is there anything that you see that, like, more generically is like, this is why I would really recommend that you look into it, give it some thought, consider it for yourself. Well, look, even I could join. I've just realized there's an over 50s. That's quite nice.
We would love to have you.
Normally at my age, it's like, oh, bless you. So I love that the community grows even for people like me. But it would be great to kind of get a feel for, what are some of the reasons why people might want to look into it, and what are some of the myths about pageants in general that you could dispel for us?
Shannon, would you like to go first? Go ahead.
I think people should enter Miss Regal World, because I think it's like Michelle has said, like it's an international based pageant, but it's all online. I remember I was supposed to be in a different pageant, and due to work commitments, I wasn't able to make it. But with Miss Regal World, you don't have any of that. It's literally all done at home in your own time. I think it's a perfect pageant for beginners, and the sisterhood within this pageant is just incredible. Like, I've met so many friends from all around the world who I'm still in touch with now, and it's just an amazing sisterhood.
I love that. Thank you.
You mentioned the myths, and so there's I talked a little bit about the stigma associated with online pageants, but there's certainly a stigma associated with pageants in general. And I think a lot of people who just automatically, dismiss pageantry assume that pageant contestants are vapid, don't really have anything of substance to offer, that it's just about looking pretty and that's it. And I honestly think that's probably one of the biggest reasons people should, if not enter a pageant, just explore it a little bit more, because I have met some of the most intelligent women I have ever encountered in my entire life through pageantry. Pageantry encourages one to bring out their own sense of self and creativity in a heightened way. There's absolutely nothing that's negative about that. And I've seen people literally go on stage and shine in a way that they didn't even think they could. And to witness that, as a judge or a fellow contestant is just absolutely amazing. And pageant contestants have much to offer the world. And again, one of the main points of pageantry is once you win your crown, there's good that you go out and do in the world, whether it's community service or promoting a particular platform, whatever that is, you're actually doing something with your crown. So I think a lot of people either don't know that or just kind of forget that because of how salaciously the industry has been portrayed on TV and reality shows and things like that. Pageantry is a wonderful industry that encourages people to be their absolute best. And I mean, there are a million life lessons in that alone.
Yeah, I think you're right. There are often opinions that people have that assume that you're not bring the whole person. But actually, from my understanding, the point is that you do bring the whole person. So that show who they are, what their personality, what their thinking is, their thought leadership, of how they're going to make an impact and how they're going to make a change. And I think it's, we are our whole self, aren't we? We're not just what we look like or what we do. We are every aspect of us as a person. And it sounds like actually the pageantry is allowing you to bring all of that together and to also to have ongoing debates, to make change, to connect with people that allow you to have conversations that you might not have been given the chance or opportunity to have without the community that you're in with Miss Regal World or with other pageants if you're taking part. And Shannon, I liked what you said about the fact that because they're doing it, it's all online. Actually, again, it's taking away obstacles that say only certain people would be able to be involved. Only if you've got the money to be able to travel to these places, or it sounds like it's trying to make it a very inclusive and engaging community by removing some of those barriers for people to be able to consider getting involved.
Right. Yeah. And we are hoping for an even bigger turnout than we had last year at our next pageant. Again, I mean, it's obvious how much Shannon and I are so in love with Miss Regal World right now. It's such a great system. And I can certainly say that myself, having, either competed in or judged in numerous systems in the US. And we really hope that the sisterhood grows even more. We're looking forward to that and actively working toward that.
Fabulous. So could I ask, for my own ignorance, and forgive me for being so ignorant about it, so how does the pageant work? So if I say I've applied and I'm taking part, what happens? Sorry, it's not a really gorgeous question, but I know you've said it's online, but what sort of things would I expect to prepare for?
So Victoria creates like a Facebook group where all their contestants can connect in there. She shares like Zoom calls throughout the year, and sometimes, not all the time, I think it's because of like the time differences and stuff where people are from. You can do like fun activities like create like like a silly TikTok, and then she'll put it together. So did you see that like makeup brush one a few years ago? I think we did one like that. So there's definitely a fun aspects to it, regardless of it being online. And then you do like a video before the finals, walking videos and stuff, and then you submit that. And then obviously you'll get like a top finalist. And then I think the winner's chosen from that, I think, after like they do another walking video and like an interview, but to the camera.
Okay, fabulous. And so again, what did you do in preparation for the interview part? Did they give you like an idea of what questions they're going to ask, or is there anything you could share with people that are watching that would go, okay, that would help them over that fear of the unknown, because that can be one of the things that stops people moving forward, isn't it? It's like, I don't know what's coming. I don't know whether or not I'm going to feel confident about that. So I'm just thinking, interview is one of those things. It's one of those words that makes everybody run for cover, isn't it? It's like, no, that's horrendous. I don't want to do that. So kind of what type of things would you be asked in that interview? I appreciate it's to camera.
So if my memory serves me correctly, there's a single question that is given, and you simply go up there and present your answer, something authentic to you that answers that question. So it's not like a rapid fire series of questions. I, for the most part, think it's a single question. There may have been one or two questions in the past, but ahead of time what you're going to be speaking to, and it's just up to you to prepare and come up with, again, an authentic answer that gets at the root of the question in your own personal style and based on your experiences.
I love that. So it really is, again, trying to engage people in kind of that wider debate so that everybody involved. And does everybody get to see everybody's interviews, or is that just the judges?
The judges.
But for the judges, obviously, they can see how those different perspectives can be taken into account in responding to that one question, that one area that they're kind of honing in on for that year or for that particular pageant, which must really help them in gaining a broader insight into what people's perspectives are across the globe about the areas that they're addressing.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and I think the questions are very well thought of. I think there's a lot of thought that Victoria and the judges, I'm not sure who all comes up with the line of questioning, but I think there's a lot of forethought that goes into them, that they are broad enough that they can apply to, a contestant pool across the globe. But also they have like that little inkling of, or little bit of personal, centrality to them, that you can insert, your feelings and your thoughts, and how that question really resonates with you from wherever you are across the globe.
Oh, I love that, because it will give you those different perspectives, won't they, based on what people's lived experience has been, and how that changes based on societally where we are in the world and what's going on for us right now. So now I'm just looking over here because I've got a question. In case you want to ask, she's not looking at me. That's because I'm going to read. So how does participating in a pageant impact mental health, given the opportunity for potentially celebrity status, or also the counter side of that if you're not one of the selected queens or not one of the winners. So either you get to be that celebrity or you don't. How does that impact, do you think?
You know, here in the USA, we there is the Miss USA pageant, which is under the Miss Universe system. And that pageant has very recently undergone some serious upheaval in the sense that there were multiple Miss USA title holders at the Miss level and at the teen level who relinquished their titles because they felt that there was too much stress and they weren't being supported by the director and the system. For a pageant at that level, for 2 title holders to just give up their title and say, I can't do this anymore, that's huge.
Yeah.
And I respect those ladies because I think they made the right decision for them and for their mental health. And I will always support people in doing that. I think that speaks a lot to the fact that a positive system of pageantry, a supportive director, a supportive pageant system is so important to contestants and title holders. And we certainly have that with Miss Regal World. As far as Miss USA goes, I really hope they get it together moving forward because I would hate to see other title holders just feel as though they have to give up their titles because it's too much stress. But again, I think that it harkens back to how important the pageant system as a whole is in being a positive support system for all involved.
Yeah, so obviously we've talked about Miss Regal World, and it sounds like they're doing quite a lot around that community piece to support not the participants, so support the people that are applying all the way through the process, including then obviously for the people that are successful. What happens if you've participated and you've gone through and you're not one of the winners? Do you remain in the community, or do you leave the community and come back if you want to reapply?
With the Facebook group that is created, Victoria always leaves it open, so you can always go back into it and talk and keep in contact with the contestants from that year. For me, myself, in my first year, I never placed, but because I enjoyed it that much and I loved the community, I came back the year after, and each year I've been in the competition, I've actually improved, and now I'm sat here as a title holder. So for me, my mum always told me to never give up on my dreams, and that is something that I stand by. So I continued going back, and I'm where I am today.
I love that. And that community provided you with that, didn't it? So it gave you that space to be able to go back. And I think you're right. It is that whole, it is so important to not give up on our dreams. And sometimes we, having the courage to keep going forward and going, okay, well, I'll try again. And I'll see. And what I loved, Shannon, and what you shared was, one, you had the courage to keep going back, but also you said, I kept getting better. So until you got to where you are today, and then you've now achieved it. So I loved that. Actually, it was not only the keep getting back up, but recognizing that every time that you did, you were getting better, and you were improving. And I think for me, that's people watching the show know that my little girl is my North Star, and I talk about her all the time. But that's the thing that I say to my little girl all the time. She's only 7. It's like, actually, we only fail when we fail to keep trying. If we just keep trying and we look at it, every time we're getting better, every time we're improving. And if we keep doing that, one day we'll get there. One day we will actually make it, as long as we are willing to keep learning and keep trying. And it sounds like the community that Victoria's created allows you to not feel alone whilst doing that trying. Would that feel fair?
Absolutely. And Miss Regal World has many contestants who come back year after year, more so than I've seen in many other pageant systems that I've been involved with. So that it says a lot for the community that she's created. Yeah,
absolutely. Because if people are coming back, even if they didn't place the first time, but they can see that they're supported and they're learning and they're enjoying it. I think, you know, for me, what come across from you, both you ladies, is that actually it brings so much more than just the pageant element. You know, you've got the connectivity, you've got the community that comes with that, you've got the making fun events, feeling included, I guess. You know, we all have a natural desire to belong somewhere, and belong in lots of places is nice. So you feel like you've got more than that, and it sounds like one of the things that you're getting from this is that that sense of belonging and that ability to not just belong but to make a difference, to have an impact. Would that be fair?
Mm-hmm. And we all have the chance to really get to know each other through whether it's the Facebook group that Shannon was speaking to, and also the Zoom calls that we have and the questions that we all are asked by Victoria, and we get to go around and give our answers. You really do get to know one another. You know, even again, we're across the globe, but we, you know little fun factoids about one another. And that, you know, that goes a long way. It really does.
And I guess as well, it's helping you, all of you, learn collectively and individually, because I guess by having that community and sharing your your thoughts and opinions on the questions that are being asked will bring up things that you hadn't considered. I was talking to somebody earlier today who's doing some work in the Philippines, and they were saying in one area that they were doing some work, people had to make a choice between feeding their child or sending their child to school. And I was like, oh, goodness, that's not even something that I wouldn't even have crossed my mind that had to be a consideration, and how very grateful I am that I don't have to do that, but also how unappreciative I've been of the fact that it wasn't even a consideration. I didn't even realize that was something that I should be grateful for, because it was an expectation I had. But once we start talking to people from around the world, we realize that not everyone's living the same experience that we're living, and things that we are taking for granted actually for other people are things that they aspire to have. And I think once you have the joy of being able to speak to people from around the globe, you get a much broader perspective, don't you, and start to see the things that you should be more grateful for yourself, but also gives you a different perspective. So can I ask you, ladies, what advice would you give to somebody out there who's watching us right now who's interested in applying? So I'll come to each of you in turn. So Shannon, I'm going to start with you. What advice would you give them about getting started and things to consider? I
tell them to just definitely go for it. I feel like you shouldn't let an opportunity pass you. Just go for it, because if you don't go for it now, then you might never ever go for it. Obviously, us girls are here if anyone wants to talk or speak about it. I've had people reach out to me on Instagram before via DM asking me about pageants, and I'm always happy to speak about them and tell you how you can get into them. I feel like Miss Regal World have so many, pageants in general have so many more benefits that can help with everyday life. So for example, for me, I hated interviews. I didn't like them at all, but because I've had them in pageants, it's now helped with my everyday life. So yeah, just go for it.
I love that. Thank you. And Michelle, can I ask you the same question, please?
Yeah, I would say the same thing. Just do it. It will be one of the best experiences you've ever had, but also sufficiently prepare. I think a lot of people would be surprised in thinking maybe initially that an online pageant is going to be somehow easier. I would say no. It's one thing when you have to go on stage and do your walk and get your gown and do all the things. It's another thing when you are the entire production behind your performance. So definitely prepare. It's hard work, even though it's something you'll be doing virtually, but definitely take the leap and do it.
I love that. I think often, yeah, you're right. the need to prepare, and I guess that's one of the reasons for us asking the questions, is helping people to do that early preparation of get a bit of an understanding of what's going on, what's likely to happen, and then you can start to prepare for it. And I can see the challenge from a production point of view when it is online. I've just got visions of I was doing it, trying to have my 7-year-old producer to kind of do things for me, which is what it would look like in my world. But you've got to think of all of those things, haven't you? Of like, how do you pull all of this together and ensure that you I guess you're putting the best view of yourself over as a whole. I mean, not just as in what you look like, but as in how you're going to respond to that interview question, how you're going to be able to get across your thinking, your values, your viewpoint, for all of that to be considered as part of that competition. And I imagine that's one of the things that gets better over time, because once you've done it the first time, you know exactly what it looks like, so you can then look at it and go, okay, well, maybe I could have done this a little bit different. So now that I know what I didn't know, then actually I'm better placed to be able to prepare for the next time. But I love that whole collective of just believe in yourself and kind of take the leap, take that step, and it will have that positive impact on those other areas, because you've got more belief in yourself. You've taken that risk, you've taken that drive, and it's, as you said, Shannon, it's not just improved, it's not just helped you in the pageantry world, it's actually helped you in the wider world as well, because you've got more experience of having to be interviewed lots of times differently. So that helps it helps take away some of that fear, doesn't it, of like the word. We've got to be interviewed, end of the world, we know it. But actually you're able to instead see that from a different perspective and go, actually I did, and it was fun. I mean, whoever would have thought that word would come alongside interviews can be fun, but they can, and they can drive you forward. Ladies, I could chat to you all day. It's been really, really insightful. And I love that it's giving people a different perspective on kind of what they could get as benefits out of pageants. And for me personally, it's opened my eyes to the fact that they even do them on an international basis, and to the online piece and the different age groups, so that it actually can create that community for a much wider audience. So thank you both so very much for giving up your time and for coming and sharing with us about your journey and the impact it's had. And I look forward to seeing your continued success and staying connected.
Thank you for having me.
Thank you so much for having me too.
Take care. So thank you all for everybody who is listening and watching. I hope you found that useful, and really demonstrates the power of community and the impact it can have when we have the right people around to support us, and we take that moment to believe in ourselves. So until next time, thank you for watching and take care.
Hello everyone, I'm Simon MacDonald. I live in the West Highlands of Scotland, a very beautiful part of the world. Seems a long way from the USA Global TV station. But remember, USA Global TV is worldwide. It's a fantastic platform. And every Wednesday, I come along here as part of the show of the United Kingdom, News and Culture. And it's just like a family reunion each time. It's one of these amazing stations that has such a beautiful, friendly, and intelligent atmosphere as well. And we reach out to an audience in the most unimaginable places. And I came here, I don't know, must be over a year ago now. I was introduced by Dr. Philip Chan, and I met Ian Plum-Turner and Helena Chard, who are co-presenters on the show. And then Diane Floyd-Bem came along as well. And I mean, the five of us, Dr. Jacqueline, of course, who is our host and our mentor, has just made this show work so well. Tremendous people, lovely time we have, and we impart a lot of information, a lot of knowledge. Nothing's rehearsed. It's all done off the cuff, and it all just gels. And we get great feedback from people coming back and saying how they're enjoying the show. It's lovely to hear, and it's lovely to get that interaction from outside as well. And we're all listeners, and some of us are elevated listeners as well. So we enjoy every second of it, and we hope you do too.
Meet Dr. Jacqueline Kerbeck, President, Founder, and Chief Listening Officer of USA Global TV and Radio. She is a certified life, career, and executive coach. Dr. Jacqueline is the Amazon #1 best-selling author of Behind the Green Screen and Adversity to Awesome. As the listening mentor, she teaches children and their families how to listen at an elevated level through the book series titled The Amazing Adventures of Lady Ella, the Listening Mentor. The Creative Hearts Awakening book series features heart-centric creatives who share their awakening journey. Through the Power of Listening educational course platform, people can get certified as elevated listeners on USA Global TV and Radio. Learn how to center yourself and align with nature through the power of nature, plants, and shrines. The Journey of Chakra Psychology course will educate you on the chakras and their meaning. The Intuition of the Heart course will help you understand how to trust your intuition. Learn how to face the shadows of self and understand the impact of following trends and materialism. Set boundaries and ask for permission to help establish better relationships, deeper connections, and more authentic conversations. Take your communication expertise to a higher level with the course for curious humans. After all, we are not robots. Looking to start your own podcast platform? Get everything you need in the Podcaster Pro package with Dr. Jacqueline Kerbeck. How can music, breath, and your voice set you free? Find out with the Power of Listening courses. Dr. Jacqueline is a certified meditation teacher, yoga instructor, and Juice Plus distributor. She will help you create a plan for your healthy lifestyle. As an expert in the art of interviewing with over 3,000 hosted and/or produced live broadcasts, Dr. Kerbeck helps her clients stand out as global broadcasters. Dr. Kerbeck's books are available on Amazon. Start your listening journey by reading. Tune into the Listening Mentor TV show, Fridays on USA Global TV, and learn how listening can be your superpower. Dr. Jacqueline Kerbeck, MBA, DBA, Certified Holistic Life, Career, and Executive Coach, Certified Yoga Sculpt Teacher, Certified Meditation Teacher, The Listening Mentor, Singer-Songwriter, Founder, President, Chief Listening Officer of USA Global TV and Radio. drjacqueline.com. Thank you to all our elevated listeners. team members, animal characters, and co-authors. Contact us at 215-852-9406. Jacqueline at drjacqueline.com.